4 years ago, I was struggling to hand in any school assignment and I did not have any plan in mind for the future. And today, I'm studying in one of the top 5 law schools in the UK. The journey started with the simplest change I could ever imagine, by making my bed every single morning. But it wasn't that simple. Making my bed was a start, a crucial start. And in fact, it did not just help me with my admission into law school, it helped me much more than that. Watch along, and maybe this video can inspire you or help you to chase your dream. And if you don't have a dream yet, maybe this video can help you find the dream you're looking for. And now, here is my story. It all started with this book, 12 Rules for Life. If you haven't heard of this book yet, basically it's a book that talks about different life lessons and tips on how to live a good life. And the different thing about this book is that it takes a lot of traditional and seemingly obvious tips and portray it in a whole new light. For example, that you should make your bed every single morning.
If you want to change the world, you start from yourself and work outward, because you build your competence that way. It's like, I don't know how you can go out and protest the structure of the entire economic system if you can't keep your room organized.
And of course, my initial reaction was, I've heard this like 100 times before. And I just laughed it off and I did not pay much attention until I understand the logic behind it. Making a bed is the simplest task you can do as an individual. And it's the first thing you're going to do every single morning. It's simple. It's the first thing in the morning. What does that mean? It means that it's the perfect start for anyone who wants to gain momentum in their life. Reading that book, one sentence really struck me hard. How are you going to change the world if you can't even fix the thing that's closest to you? And that just really resembles with me. At the time, I did not know where to go. I didn't have much plan for the future. I was not too ambitious. I was just lost. One thing that I know of is that I want to improve. I want to be a better person. And so I thought there was no harm for me to try this thing out. Once you started taking up some kind of responsibility and that you have carried it out successfully, you're going to be able to take up more and more responsibility. It's almost like a snowballing effect. So I started making my bed. Yes, at first it sounded really ridiculous. My parents have been telling me to make my bed for almost 16 years at that time. And now I'm starting to make my bed. But the truth is, once I started successfully making my bed every single morning, I started gaining momentum. I started to realize I'm actually capable of taking up responsibility. So I started to take up some bigger responsibility. For example, I started getting up earlier to read books. At first, it was 5 minutes earlier, then it was 10, then it was 15, and then it was 20. It's always a slow progression. But when you see yourself slowly progressing, you're going to be more motivated to try and take on more responsibility. And that's the whole point of making your bed. For me, it wasn't just a snowballing effect, it was also a compounding effect. The responsibility that I take up was increasing by default. At first, it was stuff that was really small. For example, like I said, making my bed, reading in the morning. But then it became to learn a new skill. I learned videography, started to hand in my assignment on time. And then it became to get good grades in my assignment, chasing higher grades. And then, before I knew it, I graduated my school with the second highest grade and got into law school. Of course, the whole journey wasn't that easy, but it wasn't that hard either. You just have to start today, start with the simplest stuff, and then slowly, you're gonna gain momentum. The problem is, people take up too much responsibility at a time. They try to beat 5 habits at a time, they try to jump straight to changing the world, but you have to start small. You can't expect yourself to jump from 0 to 100 at a time. You have to go one step at a time. So how can you implement this strategy? First of all, start today. Look around you. Is there anything that you can start today to gain momentum? For me, it was making my bed. For many of you, this can be the case. If not, it can be any other thing. You can start doing laundry, you can start cleaning your room, you can start organizing your notes from school, or you can start by remembering to talk to your parents every single day. And as I said, do it one by one and start small. Do not feel defeated if you haven't reached where you want to be today. Life is a series of trial and error. Along the way, there's countless amounts of habits that I tried to build that did not sustain. I did not make my bed one day, and magically the next day, I'm at law school. It's a progress, and it always will be. But at least, if you start today, your chances are going to go from 0 to 1%. And that's the infinity fold of increase. And that's the story I want to share today. Thanks for staying until the end. If you have any comment, question, or anything you want to ask, feel free to comment down below. And if you like the video, please give a thumbs up, because it takes a lot of time to make the video. And with that, I hope you start getting momentum and eventually reach the place you want to be. Thank you.